Jesus.
Come in, man.
God. Don't forget now, whenever you're a passenger in a transporter, in order to put fuel in, they've got to open the door that side. It shits you up, man. Jesus.
Most vans are like that, to be fair. What's happening? I tell you exactly what's happening. Welcome back to another Viking Views video. If you haven't already, subscribe, hit like, share it. Because I'm sharing this with you. That's what's going on. I've got a brand new T6.1 transporter. Yes, I'm very Volkswagen biased. I absolutely love it, but I'm taking that out of the equation. I'm going from, you know, a commercial, a builder, that sort of point of view, and I'm sharing what probably is the best van for the job. True story. So this one is a Highline spec. It's got some gorgeous upgraded 20-inch wheels. Look at those wheels, that's right, 20-inch on a transporter, and you still have that commercial spec. No low-down stuff going on here, boy. But look at that grey metallic, Indian grey metallic. Yeah, it's a £700 extra, but I think that's one of the best colours for these transporters. Yep. Obviously, being the van, it's targeted to builders, you know, people actually need to use it as a van, but, you know, if not, the surfer type, you know, that definitely comes with the Volkswagen badge. You've got that van life, bruh, you know, it's that whole movement. And to be honest with you, as I said, I'm a bit biased with it, but if you look at other vans on the market, maybe a Transit Custom, or, you know, you go into like the Peugeot vans or the Citroen vans, I don't think you can compare them. That's why the Volkswagen wins so many awards every single year. I think overall quality of it, this is what you want to do. Granted, it's more expensive, but in my opinion, you pay for what you get. So the main point of view as well with this, I want to show you some of the changes, the upgrades from the T6, because I am a T6 owner, a Highline owner. Granted, mine's a combi, this is just a panel. But I tell you what, after living with it for a day, I can already spot those differences. So come on, let's show you around it. So side on, there's not a lot of difference, is it? It's a T6, come on, let's be honest, there's no 0.1 going on here. Only 0.1 thing that's going on is that nice bit of transporter styling on the side, and I gotta say, I'm a fan of it. It adds to it. But visually, that's all the same. You've got that good German quality. It's a van. Side on, there's not a lot of difference, but to me, awesome. So obviously there's all different variants of these, from the basic entry levels right through to a Highline like this. Stephen, what are you doing in my shop, man? Don't want him in there, do I? So obviously there's all different variants of the T6.1. This is a Highline spec, you know, you've got the entry level as well, more commercial style, black bumpers, etc. This just sits pretty. Small wheelbase, of course you can get the long wheelbase if you need them couple of extra inches, know what I'm saying? But aside from that, it's a van. So there we go. These vans as well, being the 150 2 litre, is good for about 35 to 37 miles per gallon, depends on how it's driven. Real world in this, granted, I think whoever's van this actually is does drive with their foot down a little bit, because over 1200 miles it's averaging 20.3 miles per gallon. So there we go. This is where the magic happens. No, not that sort of magic. It's build a van, innit? You know, commercial vibes. So the payload on these, depending on your 28s to 30s or your T32s, so you've got a payload of 713 kilos right through to 1309 kilos. So load length, 2,572 millimeters to 2,975 millimeters, with a load width of 1,700 meters. So decent sized van. Again, depends if you want a small wheelbase or long wheelbase. I'm having fun today. So there we go. Just want to be a bit lazy about it. We put on the park assist, we roll up to where we're going to go. Obviously pop it into reverse gear. Check the surroundings, check them yourself first anyway. Aside from that, let the van do its thing. And that's our little ding, we are parked. So there we go, that feature is pretty awesome, isn't it? And now I know this van being the panel is aimed at, you know, builders, etc. Manly men, innit? They want to do it themselves, but it's there if you want to do it. So come on, let's get cruising. So I will say as well, the clutch is so easy on this to use. Now I drive automatic or DSG cars, so you know, jumping back in the manual, normally a bit like, okay, but to be honest with you, straight at it, no problem at all. As I said, might be a bit of a jerk coming up, but being a 150 brake, it's got plenty of poke. You know, it doesn't hang around, it's no slouch for a van. This will do a lot of cars off the line, not even joking. But anyway, it's a van, it's not for that, is it? But what are my thoughts on it? I tell you what, I love the height position. I love that you're high up, you see things you wouldn't necessarily see low down. That's how it works, isn't it? But it's just a cruiser, to be honest with you. You know, this one does have big 20-inch wheels, but it's still comfy. You know, it's not potting and banging. You know, it's in this road as well, industrial sort of where the van would be, and you know, it takes it like a pro. There's no problem with it whatsoever. So back on, it's got the tailgate with the window opposed to barn doors. Again, personal preference for me. And I said I'm 6'4". When that goes up, I can stand under it, no problem. So keeps things dry more than anything. Aside from that, visually on the rear, only thing you can notice different are the new THINGS lights, which are quite nice. And of course, you can get the upgraded LED rear light as well, which this one doesn't have, but it's quite nice. And I tell you what, only extra it's got as a little accessories, a little bump strip there, which I recommend probably getting, because in my T6 I've had the bumper painted 3 times because of catching stuff. So you know, that's a nice little feature. Right, let's go back at it. It's a scuff plate, isn't it? Amazing how things come to you later. I can't even speak, it's too cold. My voice box is like so there we go, still on those van vibes, aren't we? Again, it's a van. Only thing really different this one has sensors on the side as well, because it's got the park assist, which is £374 optional upgrade. Works very, very well, whether that's side parking, you know, it's all good. Aside from that, it's great, isn't it? Don't forget, you can pay extra as well to have dual sliding doors on this, to get a door this side if you really wanted it. But again, it's up to you. That's what I like about transporters, the accessory list, and there's so many things you can do to them. There's no right or wrong way, is it? So I just keep, my head keeps going everywhere I want to see it. I just want to see it, you know, slammed, you know. I'm just thinking of beach vibes though. That's a different video. So front on, that's where you'll notice the biggest difference between the T6 and the T6.1. You know, only that part down really, innit? Aside from that is all the rest. But to be honest with you, when I first saw this new facelift version about a year ago, I was a bit like, I was against it, you know. But I tell you what, over time I've warmed to it and I've warmed to it. Now you guys might think exactly the same, you know. You might not have warmed to it yet, but I promise you, you will. I think it's such a nice looking van in comparison. Now I like in the bigger grille, those little facelift bumpers on it, makes all the difference. Don't forget, heated screen is standard as well, which is great in the winter months. You know, what's the point in sitting there defrosting it? Pay for the upgraded heated seats, sit in it, let it clear it itself. So with these as well, then obviously you've got that pre-sense, you know, if you accidentally roll into a bit of traffic, you don't stop in time, something steps out on you, you know, it'll slam its brakes on. But I can tell you what as well, the brakes on these vans, brilliant, don't even slide. Right, so you got your pre-sense as well, now is relocated to there. Granted, Volkswagen, you could probably hide that out of the way, but you know, it does the job, it's centre mounted, it's all good. Only thing visually I would do myself if I was ordering one of these, I'd get some of the LED xenon sort of lights, you know, because I tell you what, those lights are pathetic. They were pathetic on a T5, T6, and on a .1 you see nothing in the dark. Granted, when you go around the corner, your little fog lights come on, but that's not enough. You need the LEDs. Right, so we've moved it inside. Now to me, again, I know I'm transporter biased, but it is a comfortable place to be. Granted, bulkhead, 6'4", bush. I want to go back more, that's the only problem I have. Literally, changing gears, etc. as well. I feel like I'm sat way too close. But that's big man problems, isn't it? For a smaller gent, you'll be alright. But quality-wise, it's lovely in here. Granted, I think Comfort Dash in a previous T6 is a higher quality than what's going on in here. It's a bit plasticky in places, I'll be honest with you, but there's no comfort dash for these. This is, if you order a T6.1, this is a dash you're gonna get. Maybe in the future they'll introduce a different option, but for now, you're stuck with it. And I'll be honest with you, it's not actually that bad. I'm quite a fan of it. I know our boy Dan, he picked up on it more than me, but I'm liking the new features of it. I like that it's a bit more up like this. You'll see that anyway. And I'm loving the new steering wheel in here, I'll be honest with you. It feels much more updated, because I said the T6 platform went for quite, well, some years, didn't it, you know? And yeah, this, it feels modern. The dials feel modern, the nav feels modern, all the button switches, it all feels a bit more modern in here. That's your word, modern. Aside from that, you look there, you see in T6, it's literally, there's not much features changed apart from a little bit upgraded of a dash. The front and the back is slightly different, you know, little switches here, etc. different, and standard equipment. There's more standard equipment on these.
Stephen.
So, as I like to do in all these videos, report live from the scene, get online one of the websites in it and actually see price for price exactly what's going on. So this one here is a Highline. As previous in the old gen, it was a start line, trend line, Highline. Literally, it's good or bad now, so you've got the basic or the nice one. Easy as 1, 2, 3. So being the Highline, the nicer of the pair, starts at £33,086. If you're VAT registered, you get to claim that back, because it is VAT on that. Vehicle has a couple of optional extras, i.e. Indium grey metallic. Look at that paint though. I do like that. I'm a fan of that, I'll be honest with you. Especially if this was nice sunny day, nice and clean, that would pop. Aside from that, it's got this little leatherette robust seats in the front, which are £78 extra. Personally, I wouldn't go from that. I understand if you're on a building, hype or whatever, you know, dirty clothes getting in it, easier to close down, but I prefer the material myself, a cloth material. Aside from that, this van actually has a rear tailgate with the window, which is £160 extra. We've chatted about the park assist, £342. Don't know how often you're going to use it, that's down to you. So aside from that, this van gives you a grand total of £37,214 with the VAT. Now granted, you can get a smaller, like a T28, etc. This is a T30, so it's the mid-range of them, but it's a 150 horsepower with a 6-speed box, which I think, to be fair, you need. You know, I've driven a T28 with a lower horsepower. It's all sorts of noises going on down here, but we're rolling with it. I've driven those previously in the past, and I tell you, sluggish. You're always looking for more. You sat in that 5th gear wishing you had a 6, and you always have to think about where you're going. So the 150 brake, perfect mid-range. Yes, you can get the 199 horsepower, which would be a little bit rocket, but this thing is nippy. So here's some on the spot advice: buy the 150, whether that's a DSG or manual, that's the one to go for. Right, so it's about that time in the video I give my final thoughts, my final verdict. I love it, man. Yeah, I'm a bit Volkswagen biased, but I absolutely love it. I think it's a great van, the T6.1 overall. Volkswagen has got it right, don't get me wrong. There's a couple of little negatives against it, being a bit plasticky on the dash, and I wish to God they did a comfort dash in here opposed to just one dash throughout all. Also, if you have a Carvel, you can get a virtual cockpit, but not in a transporter. Same platform, do it, give us the option, you know what I'm saying? And also, another little negative, the gear stick, whether it's on a DSG or on a manual, it's that little bit of plastic on there. You know, the old ones had a bit of metal, it was a bit nicer in there. But overall, it's a nice place to be, it's a nice van. Granted, they are quite expensive compared to similar things in the category, but T6.1, I love it. But yeah, the height situation in here for me, being a bigger guy, you know, I wish I could slide this back a bit more, but bulkhead's there. Yeah, you can get a bulkhead delete if you wanted it, but you've got that chance of your payload coming through, haven't you? But it would be nice to have that little bit of extra room. But it doesn't matter if I'm in a transporter, a transit van, a little Bilingo, wherever I'm in, I always have that problem. So me, that's why I ordered a combi, for I can go back. So the same for you. If you don't need that full space for a van, order a combi one. You get the best of both worlds. You can get the bulkhead behind the rear seats as well, just to separate a little bit. But yeah, I absolutely love it, I'll be honest with you. I know we always rate these, and if it was a combi, I'd be up there giving it a 10 out of 10, because that's because I'm biased anyway. But it's a lovely van, I love it. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch the video. If you have watched it to the end of it, you know, rambling in the van, it's all going on. Oh, that's sort of rambling. But yeah, sub up, subscribe, hit like. Honestly, it's free for you, it costs you nothing, and it helps us massively. So there's a lot of cool stuff coming up. Until next time, from me and the other guy, even though he's behind the camera, big love from us both. Boosh.